Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive deep into the explosive twists awaiting us on Tuesday, August 26th, where loyalties shatter, secrets unravel, and high-stakes drama pushes our favorite Port Charles residents to their breaking points. Let's kick things off with the tense situation unfolding around Lulu Spencer and Brooklyn Quartermaine. As the episode begins, Lulu will turn to Brooklyn with a probing question, wondering if she's truly prepared for what's ahead. This moment hints at a pivotal visit to the hospital bedside of the still unconscious Maxie Jones, where the duo braces for some gut-wrenching medical revelations. Imagine the emotional weight as they stand there, surrounded by beeping monitors and sterile white walls, discussing Maxie's fragile condition. Perhaps they'll learn about unexpected complications from her injuries, like a rare infection that's delaying her recovery, forcing Lulu and Brooklyn to confront their own fears about family bonds and the fragility of life in Port Charles. This scene could also weave in flashbacks to Maxie's adventurous past, reminding viewers why her fight for survival is so crucial to the show's heartbeat. Shifting gears to the intriguing confessions in store, Martin Gray finds himself opening up to Laura Collins in a moment of raw vulnerability. He'll lay out all the chaotic details surrounding the latest Drew Kane scandal, admitting that his recent actions have landed him in hot water with a formidable foe. Picture Martin pacing nervously in Laura's office, his voice dropping to a whisper as he reveals how Drew's political ambitions and hidden agendas have turned allies into enemies overnight. To add layers, maybe Martin discloses a previously unknown alliance he formed with Drew, only for it to backfire spectacularly, involving leaked documents that could expose corruption at the highest levels. This admission not only heightens the tension, but also sets the stage for Laura to step in as a mediator, using her mayoral influence to navigate the fallout, all while questioning Martin's judgment in this dangerous game of power. Now, brace yourselves for the shocking confrontation involving Drew Kane and Alexis Davis. Drew cleverly entices Alexis to a seemingly innocent meeting, pretending it's all about hashing out custody details for little Scout Quartermaine. But in a blindsiding twist, Alexis will be hit with a restraining order right there on the spot, igniting her fury like never before. Envision the scene in a dimly lit conference room at the Metro Court, where Drew's calm demeanor masks his calculated move, perhaps motivated by lingering grudges from past betrayals. Alexis, ever the sharp-tongued lawyer, might fire back with accusations of manipulation, drawing in new elements like evidence of Drew's secret communications with other family members to undermine her. This escalation could spiral into a broader family feud, with Alexis vowing to fight back in court, adding fuel to the already blazing Quartermaine family dynamics and leaving fans wondering if reconciliation is even possible. Over at the Quartermaine stables, the air thickens with scandal as Cody Bell desperately tries to clarify a steamy encounter that Molly Lansing Davis just witnessed involving him and Ava Jerome. Cody will plead for a moment to explain, insisting that the whole setup was orchestrated by none other than Kristina Corinthos Davis. This revelation will prompt Molly to demand answers, uncovering the depths of Kristina's seduction plot aimed at driving a wedge between Ric Lansing and Ava. To flesh this out, perhaps Cody recounts the bizarre chain of events in vivid detail how Kristina approached him with a sly proposition, promising it would expose Ava's true colors, complete with fabricated text messages as proof. Molly, torn between her growing affection for Cody and this web of deceit, might reflect on her own vulnerabilities, like recent heartbreaks that make her question trust. Despite the undeniable chemistry sparking between Cody and Molly, think lingering glances, an unspoken promise this drama could create fresh obstacles, forcing them to navigate jealousy and doubt before their romance can truly blossom. The fireworks really ignite in a heated clash between Ric Lansing and Kristina Corinthos Davis. Their argument escalates rapidly, with Ric unleashing his pent-up rage and declaring that Kristina belongs behind bars for her reckless schemes. This explosive exchange might play out in a public spot like the park, where bystanders overhear Ric's tirade about Kristina's interference in his life, including her meddling in his relationship with Ava. Inventing a new angle, Ric could bring up overlooked evidence from Kristina's past missteps, such as a forged document that ties back to her, amplifying his threats of legal action. Kristina, defiant as ever, might counter with her own accusations, painting Ric as the real villain who's been manipulating family ties for personal gain. This confrontation not only blasts open old wounds, but also hints at broader implications for the Corinthos clan, potentially drawing Sonny into the fray to defend his daughter. Meanwhile, at the luxurious yet perilous Five Poppies resort, Jason Morgan steps up with a sincere offer to whisk Britt Westburn away to safety. He'll paint a picture of freedom, promising to take her anywhere her heart desires, but Britt will reluctantly decline, bound by her critical lab work and the life-saving medication doses she can't afford to miss. Visualize Jason's earnest plea in a secluded resort suite, the ocean waves crashing outside as he outlines an elaborate escape plan involving hidden routes and trusted contacts from his shadowy past. Britt, battling her inner turmoil, might share new details about her condition, a rare ailment, requiring experimental treatments only available there, explaining why fleeing isn't an option, despite the risks. This heartfelt interaction underscores Jason's protective instincts, but it also foreshadows complications, as Britt warns of unseen dangers lurking in the resort's shadows that could ensnare them both if they act hastily. Finally, the stakes skyrocket for Jocelyn, Jax, and Vaughn, who find themselves trapped in a nightmarish hostage situation on the property. Their grave danger intensifies as captors tighten their grip, leaving escape routes blocked and help seemingly out of reach, adding inventive tension. Perhaps the kidnappers reveal a motive tied to Jocelyn's family connections, demanding ransom or information about Carly's business dealings. Jocelyn's resourcefulness could shine through in subtle ways, like signaling for help through a cracked window, while Vaughn's mysterious background might introduce unexpected alliances or betrayals. This perilous predicament keeps viewers on the edge of their seats, promising that rescue efforts from Jason or others will be fraught with peril, ensuring the episode ends on a cliffhanger that leaves Port Charles reeling. Next, we will uncover the jaw-dropping power struggle brewing between Marty Gray and Drew Quartermain, where a single demand could topple Drew's empire of schemes and send shockwaves through Port Charles. Kicking off this intense saga, fresh leaks from ABC General Hospital reveal that Marty Gray is masterfully flipping the script on Drew, challenging his iron-fisted control in a confrontation loaded with ultimatums and buried secrets. Desperate to pin Michael Corinthos for that brutal punch that left him reeling, Drew corners Marty, the only eyewitness, as his key to securing a damning statement for ADA Justine Turner. But Marty, ever the cunning attorney, refuses to play along unless Drew pays a steep price, completely halting the fraud probe. Into Stella Henry, his cherished confidant who bent the rules to ensure his life-saving surgery was funded through shady insurance maneuvers. This high-stakes standoff threatens to unravel Drew's web of terror, from his calculated plots against Michael to his ruthless blackmail of Portia Robinson over hidden family truths. Will Marty's bold condition dismantle Drew's quest for dominance, or will Drew dig in his heels, especially after blaming Curtis Ashford for Willow Corinthos' heartbreaking decision to walk away? To amp up the drama, imagine Drew storming into Marty's office with a stack of legal papers, his face twisted in frustration, only for Marty to counter with evidence of Stella's selfless act, perhaps including heartfelt letters from her past that highlight her as a pillar of the community, making Drew's pursuit seem even more vindictive. Delving deeper into Drew's mounting desperation clashing with Marty's unyielding determination, it's clear Drew believed he had the upper hand by pressuring the lawyer into compliance. Yet, Marty's clever counter-proposal turns the tables dramatically, forcing Drew to confront the limits of his influence. Without any other witnesses to corroborate Michael's assault, Drew's case hinges entirely on Marty's signed testimony. But the lawyer's deep-rooted loyalty to Stella Woe risked everything to cover his medical bills. Amid a personal health crisis stands as an unbreakable barrier. Marty might even reveal during their heated exchange a new layer to the story, like how Stella's fraud involved forging documents to bypass bureaucratic red tape, all to save his life after a near-fatal accident that tied back to Port Charles' underbelly of crime. This could be Drew's ultimate tipping point, compounded by the fresh wounds from Curtis publicly exposing his steamy affair with Nina Reeves, which shattered his dreams of marital bliss with Willow. Blinded by an all-consuming obsession for retribution, Drew faces a pivotal choice: swallow his towering pride and back down, or let his unchecked ego pave the way for his own downfall. Picture the tension in a dimly lit courtroom hallway, where Drew's whispers turn to shouts, and Marty stands firm, perhaps pulling out a photo of Stella from his wallet to humanize her plight, underscoring how Drew's vendetta is tearing at the fabric of long-standing friendships. As the negotiation intensifies, Marty's insistence on dropping the Stella fraud investigation in return for his crucial testimony puts Drew's entire empire at perilous risk. If Marty doesn't budge, Drew's leverage evaporates, leaving him without the proof needed to nail Michael and potentially facing backlash from the Ada for wasting resources. This bargain could crumble Drew's hold over Curtis, rooted in that explosive blackmail of Portia involving concealed paternity secrets that have haunted the Ashford family for years. Refusing Marty's terms might fuel Drew's arrogance, born from a string of devastating losses like losing his political edge and personal relationships, pushing him toward even more reckless escalations, perhaps enlisting shady allies, from his Quartermain connections to intimidate witnesses, to invent a fresh twist. Drew could uncover during the talks a hidden recording of Marty's past dealings, attempting to use it as counter-blackmail, only for Marty to reveal it was a setup to test Drew's ethics. Drew's insatiable thirst for revenge, evident in his manipulations from disrupting Willow's world to cornering Stella, knows no limits. But will this deal spark a fiercer war or finally break his cycle of destruction? Envision the scene unfolding in a high-end Port Charles cafe, with Marty sipping coffee calmly while Drew's hands tremble over the agreement papers, the weight of potential exposure hanging like a storm cloud over his carefully constructed facade. Could this be the moment Drew's reign of terror crumbles into surrender? Marty's tough negotiation strikes at the heart of Drew's vulnerabilities, compelling him to balance his burning vendetta against Curtis with his urgent need to take down Michael. Should Drew yield, it might signal the cracking of his manipulative stronghold from upending Willow's life, through deceitful tactics to his threats against Stella's freedom, paving the way for long overdue justice in Port Charles. Fans are buzzing with anticipation for Drew's potential comeuppance, imagining scenes where he paces his Quartermain mansion alone, replaying the failures that led here, perhaps even flashing back to an invented childhood memory of betrayal that fuels his current rage. However, some viewers worry that cornering Drew will only amplify his outbursts, leading to wilder schemes like allying with unexpected foes to regain control. Nina Reeves, ever the opportunist, could swoop in to capitalize on the turmoil, whispering temptations of joint revenge that complicate Drew's path. His next decision has the power to reshape his destiny. Will he fold under the pressure, or double down in defiance? We're on the edge of our seats hoping for a swift resolution to his dark chapter. There you have it. Loyal GH enthusiasts, this leaked showdown between Marty and Drew is set to redefine alliances and expose the fragility of power in Port Charles. What do you think? Will Drew cave, or is this just the spark for more chaos? Next, we will delve into the chilling possibility of a game-changing evidence bombshell that could force Jordan Ashford to confront the dark underbelly of her alliance with the enigmatic Jen Sidwell, potentially shattering her newfound lavish existence. As the tension builds in Port Charles, ABC General Hospital spoilers hint at a terrifying revelation on the horizon, where Jordan might stumble upon irrefutable proof of Sidwell's sinister dealings that she simply can't turn a blind eye to. Originally stepping into this high-risk role with the sole purpose of dismantling Sidwell's empire from the inside, Jordan has hit a frustrating wall in her undercover quest, with no solid incriminating evidence surfacing yet. In the meantime, she's fully embraced the opulent rewards that come with the position, raking in massive salaries that afford her an extravagant lifestyle upgrade, including a sprawling new penthouse overlooking the harbor, and the services of a top-tier interior designer who's transforming it into a personal oasis, with custom art pieces and imported furnishings. This shift has Anna Devane watching closely, her brow furrowed in worry as she notices Jordan settling into this comfort zone a bit too snugly. Perhaps during a casual coffee meetup where Anna probes about Jordan's growing attachment to the perks. Adding a fresh layer, Jordan could confide in an invented side character, like a longtime friend from her police days, about how these luxuries are easing the burdens of her past hardships, making the idea of walking away feel like an impossible sacrifice if damning proof finally emerges. Diving deeper, it's becoming evident that Jordan is genuinely thriving under Sidwell's employ, appreciating the respect and fair treatment he provides, which contrasts sharply with the cutthroat world she's known. Despite being well aware of Sidwell's notorious reputation for danger and evasion of justice, he's proven masterful at concealing his illicit activities, dodging incarceration through a network of clever alibis and buried records that have kept authorities at bay for years. Yet, even a criminal mastermind like Sidwell isn't infallible. A momentary lapse in caution could be his undoing, especially if he starts viewing Jordan as a trusted confidant and lets his guard slip during late-night strategy sessions to invent an intriguing element. Perhaps Sidwell shares a cryptic story from his past over a glass of fine whiskey, hinting at overseas operations that involved high-stakes smuggling, unknowingly planting seeds for Jordan to connect the dots later. This dynamic suggests Jordan's role is paying off in unexpected ways, but it also raises the stakes. Will her enjoyment of the job blind her to emerging red flags? Or will a shocking slip-up force her hand? However, spoilers indicate that any evidence Jordan uncovers will need to be monumental to jolt her out of this gilded cage. She's not about to jeopardize her plush new reality over shaky accusations that could fizzle out in court. It would take something utterly reprehensible, a discovery so grotesque and undeniable that her sense of justice overrides the allure of wealth and security, compelling her to expose it all. Envision Jordan rifling through hidden files in Sidwell's private office, her heart pounding as she pieces together a puzzle of atrocities that tie back to innocent victims in Port Charles. This threshold for action adds a psychological depth, perhaps explored through internal monologues where Jordan weighs her moral compass against the temptation of stability, inventing a scenario where she tests the waters by anonymously tipping off a minor lead to Anna, only to pull back when it risks her cover. What horrific find could tip the scales for Jordan and propel her toward decisive moves? The show has cleverly spotlighted a suspicious incident involving a fallen jar of face cream during Maxie Jones' shocking collapse on the home and heart set, with close-up shots suggesting foul play through contamination. This aligns eerily with lab results showing an unknown enzyme in Maxie's system, pointing to a deliberate poisoning that has left her in a dire state. There's mounting speculation that Sidwell orchestrated this attack, and if Jordan follows a breadcrumb trail, perhaps discovering incriminating emails or a matching chemical sample in Sidwell's warehouse site could confirm his culpability in targeting Maxie for reasons tied to her family's business entanglements. To expand with a new twist, Jordan might overhear a hushed phone call where Sidwell references a beauty product mishap as a warning to rivals, linking it directly to Maxie's fate and revealing a broader scheme involving tainted goods distributed through underground channels. As Maxie's poisoning storyline unfolds, she's likely to remain trapped in a prolonged coma, her body fighting the toxin's lingering effects while her nearest and dearest endure agonizing uncertainty. The emotional toll on her circle, from Spinelli's tireless vigils at her bedside to Georgie's tearful pleas for her mom to wake up, will only intensify, drawing out the heartache as doctors experiment with antidotes and therapies, inventing additional depth. Perhaps flashbacks show Max's vibrant pre-collapse moments, like a family picnic where she shares dreams for the future, contrasting sharply with the current hospital gloom and amplifying the tragedy for viewers. Should Jordan unearth concrete evidence pinning Maxie's suffering squarely on Sid Welsuk, as a ledger detailing the poison's procurement or witness statements from his operativish could transform into his most formidable adversary, channeling her investigative skills to build an airtight case for his arrest. This pursuit might involve clandestine meetings with allies like Anna, where Jordan hands over duplicated files under the cover of night, her resolve hardened by visions of Maxie's pale face in the ICU. The drive to seek justice would stem from a personal connection, perhaps inventing a backstory where Jordan once mentored Maxie in self-defense classes, making the betrayal feel profoundly intimate. Wrapping up these electrifying spoilers, ABC General Hospital teases that Jordan is in for some jaw-dropping updates on Sidwell's operations, promising revelations that could redefine her path and shake the foundations of Port Charles' underworld. What do you think? Will Jordan's discovery lead to Sidwell's downfall? Or will the perks prove too tempting to abandon? Share your theories below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more sizzling GH insights. Until next time, keep those spoilers coming.